something that a lot of our larger groups come to us about is like, how are we thinking next year and 2 years ahead? And it's always looking at those initial trends, of course, to be able to predict where we might want to get, our footing in ahead of time. So one of the bigger trends that we're seeing is TikTok is actually the number one search engine for Gen Zers. So I know that they obviously don't have the strongest buying power right now, but obviously in the next couple of years, it's going to drastically change. So if that's where they're getting their information that they trust and the information and answers to their questions that they need, it's definitely to your advantage to have some sort of presence within this realm. So, think about just easy things that you can add into your strategy to have a footprint in this social media space. So, doing things like reviews, pros and cons of a particular vehicle, even like real owner experiences. So, even if like a salesperson drives a particular model, talk about that. Again, this is where you could leverage and lean into a micro influencer in your backyard to do more of like a day in the life of, a Honda Civic owner or something like that. And also keep in mind their age range too. While they are younger, they are kind of up and comers in terms of some of them already thinking about their vehicle, even if they're starting with something that's, like used under 10,000 or something like that. We want to make sure that we're kind of getting in there as the educator. So outside of actually talking about the vehicles themselves and what we're trying to sell them, talk about understanding car loans, saving for a vehicle, ongoing expenses of a car to be aware of. I feel like if we can get in and balance the education and sales information, you can really make an impact on that audience. But they're there, and there's not a lot of dealers leaning into that opportunity, and it's kind of staring us in the face. So I would definitely say 2024, that would be my top social strategy going into the new year.
Once I saw the stats on Gen Z's usage, I personally feverishly looked for a millennial number because I didn't want to be the only one that's used it for search. But the reality is, so much of, I think, millennials being around technology and search engines as it was coming out also know how to look and spot something that is clearly a paid article at the top, whatever, right? Whereas you can get real perspectives on those things in TikTok. So, and then I started polling my friends, and of the people that I'd spoke to from varying degrees of nerdiness, my husband works in tech, and he himself has used TikTok to search for certain things. So I think that is a faster coming trend than we anticipate. And it's not just Gen Z. I think there's far more people trusting the average Joe that's my neighbor that's giving advice than what we feel is this curated content. So don't just think that Gen Z has a ways to go. You can still influence quite a few shoppers now.
Absolutely.